what's happening, people. I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. I'm gonna talk some boxing. So, being in boxing forums and listening to different boxing videos, talk gets around that people are saying that Canelo would walk through Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant can't punch. I heard David Benavidez say Caleb Plant can't punch. And I just listen to people, okay? I just listen to people, and they said that Caleb Plant, right? He has uh, 21 fights, 12 knockouts. All right, so he has more than half of his fights are knockouts. Um, Billy Joe Saunders, he had like I think 30 fights or something like that, and less than half his fights I think are knockouts. Okay, nobody was talking about that when Billy Joe Saunders had to face uh, Canelo Alvarez, Demetrius Andrade. You know, more than half his fights are knockouts. But again, nobody really talks about that when they're talking about facing Canelo Alvarez. Okay, Carlo has more knockouts on his record than all of them that I just mentioned, but he's at 160 and still. Nobody mentions that, right? David Benavidez has knocked out most of his opponents. Uh, the fighter that recently fought uh, Canelo, Callum Smith, he's got a lot more knockouts as well. But once again, nobody mentioned that when he was facing Canelo. Now everybody's suddenly thinking about, you know, Caleb Plant. He ain't gonna have, the power to keep Canelo honest, and Canelo's just gonna walk right through him. All right, so let's talk boxing. Let's talk boxing. Boxing's about footwork. Boxing's about not just how hard you punch. More importantly, when and where you punch. Let me say it again. Boxing's not about how hard you punch, but it's about when and where you punch. Victor Postol, he don't got a lot of knockouts on his record. When it comes down to it, crunch time, he stopped Hank Lundy and he stumped Lucas Matisse. Okay? It's not that boxers can't punch. Okay? A lot of boxers out there, I know a boxer, this boxer, what's his name? From Eastern Europe. Maybe the boxing gym. When it comes to me, yeah, heavy hands. Okay? Heavy hands. He don't get knockouts. Okay? Heavy hands. He fought David Benavidez. Dropped David Benavidez, actually, as well. Okay? When it comes to me, I'll say his name. He don't got a lot of knockouts. That don't mean because you don't got a lot of knockouts that you don't have power. It may be that it just does not translate into knockouts. For whatever reason, you maybe it's how you throw your punches, or yeah, how you throw your punches primarily. The person can see that you're going to throw a punch. Maybe you telegraph your punches or whatever it is. Maybe your time is a little bit off. Maybe your placement is off. You don't get the knockouts that you want. Okay? Maybe force the punches, try to force the knockout. But ultimately, at the end of the day, somebody's called a knockout artist for a reason. It's an art to knock out somebody. It's not just go in there and knock out people. It doesn't just work like that. So, I'm saying all of this to say, Caleb Plant just recently faced Caleb Truax. Everybody knows Caleb Truax is a very durable guy. Okay, Danny Jacobs got him out of there, but got him out of there, I think, in the later rounds. And people thought Danny Jacobs was going to go in there and blitz Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant has been a former world champion. Okay? Caleb Plant's not a guy you can just get out of there just like that. And the point behind it is, not Caleb Plant, sorry, Caleb Truax, sorry. Caleb Plant tried. He tried to get him out of there. Hurt his hand in the process of doing it. He tried to piece him up and put him out of there. He put combinations together, but he didn't put enough combinations together. Like Sometimes he put a 2-3 punch combination when he should have capped it off with a fourth, and then finish off with the jab. So sometimes, he throw up, he throw up a two, you know, a 2-3, maybe finish off with a one. So you get 2-3-1. You know what I mean? Which is a lead right, left hook, right hand, left hook, and he spaced it off with the one. Like I hardly saw him do a right hand, left hook. Actually, he was coming back with counter rights and left hooks, check left hooks and stuff like that. But he really didn't do a right hand. So maybe he didn't do that combination. But the point is, he was hitting Caleb Truax. We weren't putting the punches all the way together. And he had some nice, really sharp, crisp punches that he was putting together, but not enough. And remember, he's still refining and working his craft. But does Caleb Plant have enough power to keep Canelo honest? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sharp, you got good pop. Oh, yeah, he can keep Canelo honest. That's not the question. The question will be, can he stop Canelo? Me personally, I don't think he has the power to stop Canelo. I don't think he has the power to not. Well, I mean, anybody get caught with the right shot, they can get stopped. Okay, so let me rephrase that. He probably has power to put down Canelo, like if you hit him with a good body shot or in the right place, at the right time, and while Canelo's probably throwing something to catch him with the body shot. Yeah, sure, he probably put him down. But barring that, I don't see Caleb Plant, stopping Canelo, if that's what you mean. I can see David Benavidez doing something because he got that power. And he knows how to use his power. He knows how to use his technique to put down a guy like, say, a Canelo. I'm just talking generally speaking. Canelo with his defense and everything, I just don't think anybody can really put him down, period, because he's got such good defense. But let's say he's exposed and he's taking a shot. He's just taking the shot. Yeah, David Benavidez probably could put him down, right? Caleb Plant, if he places punches correctly, probably could put him down. But when it comes to Canelo putting down Caleb Plant, absolutely. He got the power to put down Caleb Plant, of course. Now, having said all of that, he broke Billy Joe Saunders' orbital. So, of course, he could. I'm sure he has enough power to put down Caleb Plant. But that's never the question, right? Would Caleb Plant get caught with a shot like what happened with Billy Joe Saunders? Hell no, he wouldn't. Because Caleb Plant actually works on his angles and how he gets hit and shots that he would get hit with. In the fight where he beat Usategui, his face was bloody not because of a punch, but because of a headbutt. Okay? He didn't get hit with a punch. That's not what caused him to be bloody in that fight. Usategui wasn't really hitting up Caleb Plant like everybody thought he was. Okay? Caleb Plant got that defense. So he does get caught every now and then, but it's very rare. Canelo is a very smart. He's a boxer, puncher, very cerebral fighter. But don't get it twisted. Caleb Plant, he can punch enough that ain't nobody walking through Caleb Plant. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Caleb Plant is of that ilk of boxing that he know what Canelo would be doing if he was to use precise footwork on him. Okay? And it depends on how Caleb Plant decides to circle Canelo will tell me, what his game plan would be. All right? And if Caleb keeps it long, if he keeps it long, keep on using different points of Canelo, it's going to be a long night for Canelo. Okay? Because Caleb Plant he ain't like them other guys. He's not like Billy Joe Saunders. He's not like Callum Smith. Okay, but he's going to have to engage Canelo also at mid-range. He's going to have to use combinations, but all you have to do is control how much combinations you do, how much you engage on at mid-range. And if he can infight a bit, he should slide all the way up to the inside, using the shoulder, and try to physically move Canelo one way or the other. That's going to be a little bit difficult, but it depends on your foot position. If your foot position is right, you can move him. You can move the fighter around how you want him to move. That's how Floyd was able to move Canelo around when he wanted him, a certain place. But that's not easy to do. Okay. Nonetheless, if he can't do that on the inside, then he can't do like Floyd and go right up on Canelo, right? But what he could do is he can stay at a distance, either way outside the pocket, and pick him off from outside, and then engage at times at mid range and slide back to the outside. Canelo will try to push him back to the ropes. I know he can handle the stories on the ropes, but in addition, he needs to circle back out and go to the center of the ring. Right? And when Canelo tries to track him to circle back out, all you got to do is feint him one way and then go back the other way. Okay? But he needs to use his boxing skill. He needs to use his footwork, his feet, his speed, and all that to uh, to turn Canelo. You need to turn him, keep on turning Canelo, and watch turn Canelo, fight him in the pocket, and then come back out. So he's going in and out of the pocket. If he can fight a bit on the inside, that will really help a lot because once you close the distance, once you close up the distance on the guy, you can get your punches off on the inside, adjust the position, and get your punches on the inside. That really works. Canelo's very good on the inside, so that's. I don't know if Caleb would want to engage him on the inside. I do know he want to engage him on the outside, keep on turning him, and then of course engage him at mid range. That's Canelo's forte. Mid range really is his thing. But that's where you want to get him because Billy Joe Saunders did very well. And you have to engage. You have to engage Canelo in the pocket. You have to. If you're not good enough to engage Canelo in the pocket, you're gonna be in problems. You cannot just fight him on the outside. You're gonna lose. And he's really good with catching and shooting and feinting shots to the body and going up to the top. Canelo's really good at that. But you might be able to counter him, but you're gonna have to ride and roll punches to come back with punches. That's how I like to come. So yeah, that's what Caleb Plant would have to do against Canelo. Okay, and everybody who get crazy about this power thing, listen, man. I've told people, and I told people again. If you're a guy that places your punches really, really well, you could touch a guy with a shot, and the guy will go down because you hit him in a spot. It's all about timing and placement. You hit him in a spot. Let's say he overextended himself, right? He threw a shot. I'm exaggerating here. He left all this area open and hyperextended. The muscles hyperextended here. I catch him underneath here. At the right time when he's throwing that shot. Oh shit! He gonna bring that hand back and he gonna cradle it. He's gonna be cradling that whole section. Why? Because I caught him when his defense is open and he's fully extended or extending himself. The muscles are tightening up there, and I catch it in between that spot. That's an instantaneous spasm that happens. That whole area gets tightened up. Maybe you don't damage the internals, but the guy's all cramped up. You know what I mean? So that's what a lot of people don't understand. When Miguel Cotto put down Daniel Gil the first time, it was just a well-placed left hook. Daniel Gil even commented that, man, it wasn't that it was so powerful. It was just how he just tapped me so well. He put that shot right there in that muscle block. And Daniel Gil couldn't get up from it because he was cramped up. You know what I mean? So a lot of people just don't get that. They don't understand how a small guy can hurt a big guy. Like for example, I was talking about Tank versus Keith Thurman, right? And people can't see how Tank could beat Keith Thurman, but I can see how Tank could find a way to beat Keith Thurman. Besides Keith Thurman not being active, for almost 2 years now, he hasn't been active. In addition to that, Keith Thurman, remember, he's susceptible to the body. A well-placed body shot, and Keith Thurman's going to double over, right? He may go to the ground, but he'll double over. And then the whole momentum of the fight has changed, and that's when you can really crash him, right? So, just based off of that, I think that's what Leonard Ellerbe, that's what was seeing, and that's what he said, when he's talking about making a fight, Tank versus Keith Thurman. And even though Tank is coming up in weight, and Tank can punch, right? But even though Tank is coming up in weight, it's all about timing and placement. All right. A lot of people just don't understand boxing, right? If I was doing any other martial arts, they get it, okay? Because time and placement is everything in martial arts, right? Boxing is a martial arts, and it's the same thing, timing and placement. If you're watching this video, don't forget to smash the like button. Also, you can also subscribe. You can also share, comment, and you can also donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. So when people say that Caleb Plant, you know, he's a guy that he can't punch. They said the same nonsense about Floyd Mayweather. They say the same nonsense about Devin Haney. And it's nonsense. First of all, Devin Haney can punch because he knocked out a guy, he broke another guy's eye orbital. So Devin Haney definitely can punch. It's just that sometimes putting the punches together to stop a guy is a totally different thing. To in fact, he dropped his last opponent. Not his last, not Gamboa, but the guy before Gamboa. He dropped that dude. Okay, it's just he couldn't finish him, right? And the reason why that happens with fighters is because sometimes they get too excited. They try to press the fight too much. I remember Canelo saying the same thing. If he had kept his composure, he probably would have gotten uh, he would have gotten uh, Austin Trout out of there sooner. You know what I mean? But you're excited and stuff. Adrenaline starts to come to you, and you load up on your punches, and then all of a sudden the fight's going on and on and on. Right? You don't get the stoppage. So it's a lot of things that go into getting a stoppage or getting a guy knocked out. And some guys they naturally have that, and other people they got to work for it. They got to break the guy down, round by round, and then get him out of there. And some guys, because they don't have that the heavy hands or the hands with the high bone density or the hands, guys who have the speed to throw the punch, and catch you. Some guys got both things. Like you look at guys like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's long, but he's also you can see his bone structure is such that he got high bone density. So you put those two combinations together, and you get a knockout, right? And he's quick twitch, he's fast, so that's definitely a knockout, right? Whereas another fighter like Alexander Usyk, he's not gonna knock nobody out because it's not that you know he's just not a knockout artist, right? And that's just not his thing. He can break you down and get you out of there, right? He can break you down and get you out of there. Vasily Lomachenko, same thing. He can break you down, get you out of there. Devin Haney, same thing. These guys can break you down, get you out of there, or make you quit. But they're not going to hit you with one punch and send you into that kingdom come and make you punch drunk. That's not necessarily what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Same thing with Caleb Plant. He's not just going to, punch drunk you when he hits you with one shot. But the shot that he hits you with, it's going to get your attention. That's what I like to say. Same thing with Floyd. Floyd hits you with a shot, it's going to get your attention. It's not like Floyd is feather fisted. He's not feather fisted. You know what I mean? He hits you with the shot, you're going to feel the shot. It's just that he ain't got no Floyd missing knuckles. You know what I'm saying? Floyd don't got all his knuckles. He's missing knuckles, and right here in his wrist, he got broken wrist bones and stuff that happened in his wrist. So he's broken here a number of times, and you ain't got no wrist. You can't really, you be punching with this, but you're not punching with, your hand per se. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things people don't understand fighters be going through before they even have a fight. You know what I mean? Paulie Malignaggi getting bad hands. Paulie, Paulie break his hands just by, if he taps something too hard, he break his hands. So Paulie did very well. A lot of people don't realize what boxers go through to achieve what they achieve. You know what I mean? Paulie overachieved. He was a great, spectacular fighter with a lot of knockouts and stuff early on in his career. And as his career progressed, he became two-time world champion. He became a super lightweight world champion, and then he became a welterweight world champion. And that's a big achievement for a guy. And he went across into the guy Senchenko's country to beat his ass. And he stopped the dude. He stopped Senchenko. And I'm just saying, a lot of people don't realize how difficult that is to do. Especially if you got bad hands, man. You got bad hands. So, I mean, Floyd is just ridiculous. I always tell people, some people say he's the greatest of all time. I won't say that because that's a consensus thing. for me, he's one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. I think that Muhammad Ali earned that. He earned the greatest of all time. He paid for it too. Um, and because of all his, the global work that he did, going, to Europe and to, the UK and even the United States of America with those interviews he had, it, he was able to bring an awareness of, religious issues and war issues and, ethnic issues to the fore. He was really a great pioneer with that, and how people should live with each other. So I think he really, revolutionized the world beyond boxing. Like he was great as a boxer as well. Let's not get it twisted. He was a great boxer as well. He got criticized by Rocky Marciano and Joe Louis for, the opponents, the opposition that he was facing, which is very funny because now when we look back in history, it's like, man, Matt Alley faced this dude, and he faced that dude, and he faced that dude. The top 10 guys. You know, but it is what it is. I mean, those guys like Joe Louis, it was really ironic. And Rocky Marciano was like, they ain't got the heavyweights to really challenge Ali and stuff. The same thing we say today about Floyd or about Errol Spence or about Terrence Crawford or about all these young, skilled fighters of this generation. It's funny, but ironically, they used to say the same things about Ali. They said the same things about Joe Louis. They said the same things. People said the same things throughout time. And people always look back to the past. They were always nostalgic about the past. So I guess this is a thing in boxing. But, when I think about a punching power, right? Punching power is great. Don't get me wrong. There are some guys, like Ernest Schaefer, like, Deontay Wilder, like, Gennady Golovkin, like, there are guys out there, they just was born to punch, right? These punchers, okay? They hit you, you going down. They catch you clean, you're going down. They don't catch you clean, you're going down. All right? All right, Marcos Maidana, and so on. Talking about that, I just want to say, by the way, I hope that Marcos Maidana, it's raining cats and dogs out there, so that's what you're hearing in the background. Marcos Maidana, I hope that he gets to go back into boxing, because I ain't heard nothing, but I hope he's working his ass off to get in shape. His brother is supposed to be facing, Maidana is supposed to be facing, I think it's Dennis Kukas is going to face Marcos Maidana's brother, so that should be good. I want to see that. That's a good fight. But, yeah, I was just saying that some guys, they can punch. Like, it is what it is. They touch you, you go down, right? Manny Pacquiao, at the low weight classes, he punch you, you gone. You know what I'm saying? At the higher weight classes, it's not, he doesn't have that same kind of punching power. Even though, he got the shock value punching power. You know what I mean? He got the shock value. He can put you down with a punch. But at the same time, I just wanted to say that, just because a boxer, can't knock you out with a punch, doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. Doesn't mean that they're not skilled and they can't win the fight. And that's what I think a lot of you guys get mixed up with. And I just wanted to talk at length about that concerning Caleb Plant. So I hope you guys understand that. I heard that Canelo's still pushing for trying to get the Caleb Plant fight. I hope he is. I hope that Caleb Plant has enough time. If they have to push back the date, they push back the date. But ultimately, in the end, I'm hoping that fight gets made because I think that's a good fight for Canelo. That's one guy I think is going to put up resistance against him and give him a good fight and might even beat him, which is what we want to see. We want to see a fight where, it's like a 50-50 fight. A guy beat another guy. I think Caleb Plant has the skills, the abilities, and the tools to beat Canelo. I've said it before. I will say it again. I'm not interested in no Dimitri Bivol fight. I'm not interested in none of those other fights because those other fighters didn't get the kind of notice that Caleb Plant had. Caleb Plant got longer notice. They're not landing the fight, but he's staying in shape. So that if you got to train, we're going to go into 6 weeks to go from the date. They may have to push the date back a little bit. No biggie. But Canelo needs to go through Caleb Plant, try and go for the undisputed. If he gets the undisputed, great for him. I just hope that Canelo will go for it, because this is the second time Canelo's been saying he wants to be undisputed, and then when metal meets the road, he's running away. As far as I'm concerned, he's running away from that destiny. You know, he did it with Demetrius Andrade, and now he's doing it with Caleb Plant. So I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Demetrius Andrade, by the way, was on the same fucking network as Canelo Alvarez. Sorry about the phone. And when we look at Caleb Plant, he may not be on the same network, but clearly the people in Al Heyman and Company Limited with Showtime and with Fox and with the PBC, they seem to be bending backwards to try and get this fight made, because apparently Caleb Plant wants this fight as well. So I think it's going to be a great learning experience for Caleb Plant, even if he loses the fight. You know what I mean? It's going to take him to the next level. So I would never not want this fight to happen. This is the fight that needs to happen now. This is the fight that needs to happen this year. So whatever it takes to make this fight happen, it needs to happen. And this is history, one way or the other. Somebody's gonna come out undisputed. So they should have this fight. If they fight to a draw, well, so be it. But ultimately, like what happened with Charlo and with Castaño, even though I thought Castaño won that fight. But they need to have this fight, and this is a good competitive fight. This is a very good fight. It's going to be a better fight than the Billy Joe Saunders fight, because Billy Joe Saunders didn't believe in his skills, didn't believe in his ability, and he started to come around, but he came around a little too late. But with this, I know Caleb Plant, after seeing that Billy Joe Saunders fight, and after a lot, he should know the kind of tools he has, the abilities he has, and he really should, I fancy his chances in this fight. I really do. I always say that Caleb Plant, he don't have the experience. Canelo has the experience on him, but I truly believe that Caleb Plant is not one of them guys Canelo's just going to be able to walk down just like that. No, it's not going to happen like that. And I think he has much more wrinkles. He's not just a guy who put up two guards and stay on the ropes and get beat on. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to this. David Benavidez is another good fighter, but I think that Caleb Plant is the better of the two. But we will see. I don't know. We'll see. Once Caleb Plant stays confident in his skills and his abilities, I expect this fight to be one in which it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a close fight, and I think Caleb Plant could take it. This is a fight that Caleb Plant can win, believe it or not. And a lot of people see Canelo one way, but I'm sure Caleb Plant sees him a different way. So anyway, that's all I got to say for now. I am what you need. If you enjoyed this video or you see this video and you want to donate to my channel, you can donate by Western Union MoneyGram. Just contact me. You can leave a message on the channel or whatever, and contact me, and you can donate by Western Union MoneyGram. I will check you guys later. What you need is out. Oh, let me leave a piece of scripture with you guys. What am I doing, man? What am I doing? So the scripture that I read today, actually, it came from, trying to remember what it was. Actually, it's on my two Bibles. Let me just go in the back and let me just check. I'm just checking because I think I know what it is. It was the beginning of something. I'm trying to remember what it is exactly. Yeah, okay. Let me leave you guys with this, right? So what I read this morning came from Timothy, the book of Timothy. I think it was First Timothy, and Paul was, advising Timothy. He was, guiding him, saying, you know what, bro, you don't really want to get involved in, conversations which don't really matter. You don't want to be involved in things where arguments or conversations about stuff that's peripheral to the mission, the goal. So I wanna also suggest that same thing that you can get yourself involved in things which really will not bring forth anything positive from you. So that's basically it. All right, peoples, I'm gonna catch you guys later on what you need. Peace. Oh, I got some other things for you guys too. I got some other news I want to share with you guys, but I'm gonna do that at a later date. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.